Knaus has looked the absolute class of the event, but now we're in very, very different conditions. And they're away, and off they go straight away. And it's a good start from everyone, and a little bit of a kind of a bit more, very forceful move there from Burak Kilic to take second place. It's easing out on Garo, and the 1-2-3 streak away. Just trying to think Boots. I don't think Boots is in fourth. I think Boots has dropped down to quite a long way, actually. Boots is down at 7th, so bad start again for Boots, which he did in the semis as well. I think he's dropped all the way down to 10th. So that may be a real issue on Boots' challenge straight away. So Knaus leads from Burak Kilic. Then on Garo. And then behind them, so I'll wait to see if they come over, because it's just more difficult at the moment. The colours are slightly bleached up where the light is at the moment. And you can see it's on Garo in third. Oh, it's Boots has scored. Oh dear. Boots has scored in fourth until he got fenced off the track there. No, it wasn't Boots. Who was that? That was on Garo. On Garo got punted off there by Boots. So there's a couple of cars. So Boots is in third. And it was on Garo who had that incident just a second ago. And he's now running somewhere else. Can't see it though. He's running about 9th, I think. And as Boots makes a big error again coming off the roller coaster. So it's 1 and 2. It's Knaus and Burak Kilic. That's the cars that are currently doing something. There's now a big gap to third, which I think is Polito. It is. So the Italian now in third. But the first two coming to complete the second lap. And there's been a lot of action in the middle of the field. Let's see where Ongaro's fallen down to. As Knaus just lightly eases out by 2/10 that time from Burak. Polito third. It's Brian Baldo in fourth. Ongaro only went to 5th after that sideways movement. 6th is Ronafalk, 7th is Boots. And then 8th is Burkan Kilic. Burak actually is really keeping Knaus honest at the moment in these different conditions than they've been used to. Right together these two now as they come up onto the rumble strips, and they just settled in the first 2 or 3 minutes. They got and the problem for the car that was in third, that was Baldo, he's dropped right out. So now it's 1 and 2, huge gap to third, but these first two are right together. Knaus hasn't had any challenge the entire time he's been here, but Burak Kilic, the older of the Kilic brothers, taking it to. Don't forget, Burak did TQ a round of qualifying here last year at the World Championships, and I'm tracking like, just a little bit of time there, tried to go in a bit too tight, and that's cost him probably half, 3/4 of a second. So he got within 2/10. Now he's going to catch back up again. So at this early stage, it's looking like Burak actually has the most pace. It's all about settling in, the tyres settling in. Ongaro's up to third, so he's back in the running again. Ronafalk, where's he come from? He's in fourth. Polito 5th. Boots 6th. No one's really having out of it apart from Robert Battles, who's struggling. Knaus now trying to stretch a little bit through the Contramile section. Let them run through so you can see where everyone is in relation to everybody else. Quite a few gaps there, as you can see. But the first two, right together. 50.7, 50.8. We're not seeing any 49s yet. Probably running harder tyres, of course, to last the 45 minutes. They're not going to have the same ultimate amount of grip. But the S-Works and Hot Race shod Knaus, leading out Burak. Ongaro 3.2 seconds behind. A couple of tenths faster in that last lap. And it's Ronafalk, Polito and Boots as the other 4, 5, 6 little error there by Burak's dropped him off a second or two. Ronafalk really trying to see what he can make happen here. But as you can see in the background, the answer is not very much. Right, so Burak now needs to try and catch back up to Knaus, not let him get away after that little error. He does seem to be able to do it. It does seem that the blue and white machine there with the white wheels of Burak Kilic does have at the moment, at this point in the race, the pace to kind of make up that little error he made. Dropped back to 1.1 seconds behind. Ongaro is coming at the moment, in fairness. The last lap was exactly the same speed as Knaus, and it's looking now like perhaps Knaus can stretch Burak. That error has given him, I think, a chance to relax. I think he's able to be less defensive. And as Burak comes back at him, Knaus, I think, is just able to stretch it a little bit. I think he was running a little bit tight, worried that Burak was going to get past. He could see Burak's early pace. And now, can he stretch it out from the 1.015 seconds the gap was just a second ago. I think the lights are just pinged on because suddenly everything flashed massively on all the screens as we've got some more lightage coming on. Gap moves out to 1.4. Ongaro still 2.5 seconds behind. And they're all stretching out. Suddenly now, this is the pace we've seen from Canas the whole time. Just beginning to stretch it. Just beginning to ease it out. You'll see him flashing in the corner as he goes around the corner there. It's 1.5 seconds. Burak can see him going. Burak had a good period, but he's just got away now as Canas has settled into the race. Ongaro in third. Let's drop back to Ongaro, who's in third. One place back. He's trying to catch up from coming together about lap 3. Ronafant, Polito and Boots are having a right old scrap with each other. They're not getting overly dropped, but they're not gaining on Canas. He's getting away. So the lead was 1.4. The lead goes this whole second lap was going that time round. And a lap time of 49.4. Now, we're beginning to, obviously it's a 45-minute race. There are fuel tactics to come in. And when people stop, now there's been a change as Boots has got past Polito for 5th. And you can stop whenever you like. And I mean, so if you can run 9 minutes, which I think people are unlikely to be able to do, that would be the ideal time. That's a 4-stopper. 9, 18, 27 and 36 minutes. It's hard here because the lap is so long. But it's really noticeable now how Ongaro is gaining on Birkin Kilic, and Birkin Kilic is losing time hand over fist to Canas. Canas that time around 49.7. Kilic crosses the line in a 50.9 and a 50.5 for Ongaro. So Ongaro is gaining on Kilic, but still losing on Canas, who is pulling away as we feared he would. Now someone's going for fuel. I think it's Kilic has gone in for fuel. So Kilic is fueled at 7 minutes. So Kilic fuels at 7 minutes, and that puts second place now falls to Ongaro. Ooh, no, half-second error. So he will be scored in second, but he's about 6 seconds back. We saw this in the World Championship, but it was Ongaro who pulled away in the first 15 minutes or so. And was slowly pegged back as the tyre wear and everything else came in by Ronafalk. But this time, Ongaro in second place. Canas is going for fuel, trying to see who's coming out of the fuel stops. Canas hasn't gone past me, so I think he's probably in for fuel. No, he's not stopped for fuel. Canas goes through another lap. So, looking good for fuel on Canas. That's an 8-minute stop, 8 minutes also for Ronafalk. And, so Ongaro's got Burak through the fuel stops. But the interesting thing is that Canas, not only is he fast, he's running longer. Now, if he can run to 9 minutes, which is 2 more laps, we might as well go home. Because he'll have a stop on everyone else as well. But if he comes in this time, he's just going to have a slightly offset strategy, which we do see sometimes in the first section, as they just try and get a little bit of an idea what everyone else is doing. What's Canas doing? And he's coming in. So Canas is not running 9 minutes. So it's absolutely, they're all on the same strategy. He hasn't got a strategic advantage as Ongaro and Kilic battle manfully for second place. Just so you know, out of the pits, absolutely fine, has gone Canas. But this is the battle on the track. It's for second and third. Fourth is Ronafalk. Fifth is Boots. But as you can see, the lead's not 11 seconds because there's a pit stop. The lead probably is about 6. It might be 5. It's not quite as bad as you thought it might be. But this is the battle for second place. Ongaro and Birkin Kilic. Burak, his brother, where is he at the moment? Oh, he's down in last. So Burak's had some issues down in 13th. So the Kilic flag being waved by Burak this time as he tries to chase down the double world champion, Davide Ongaro, who won the world championship here about a year ago in a dramatic final where Ronafalk nearly got back to him, and then it just went wrong right at the last moment. So the lead is 6.67 seconds. Ronafalk has had a problem in that lap and dropped back on the 5th center. Ronafalk's had an issue, and that's taken him right back out of contention into 5th. So in fact now into 4th has gone Boots. He's been released. But Boots again didn't start the race well. This is quite a common thing with Boots. He doesn't start the race particularly well. And also, while I was looking elsewhere, Birken's got past Ongaro again. Honestly, these cars have been doing this all weekend to me. Every time I try and look at a timing screen or try and look at another part of the track, the people we were actually looking at have been past. You're probably screaming at the screen, he's passed, he's gone past him, that you've not noticed, but I have noticed now. And Birken has got past Ongaro in this battle for second place, but that's going to mean that the lead for Knaus is going to increase. Goes up to 8 seconds. Already, it's you kind of wonder what's going to go wrong for Knaus. He's on the hot race tyres, they're well proven. And we see if Boots is getting any closer to Ongaro, who's actually now being gapped by Birken, who's now found an absolute second wind or third wind or whatever wind he's on. And he's having a little bit more ground speed than Ongaro. Ongaro is struggling for pace, which is not something you normally say. But Birken Kilic looking good for this. Let's see the next car along. There we are. There is the Boots car. Just there. There's a car in between them. I think it's being lapped. I think it's a car that's in trouble being lapped, I think, in between them. Probably Parente. I'll watch they come down here. Lead stay pretty stable that time. Another 49 for Knaus, though. Yeah, it was a 2, 3 and 4 giving us a race. You can't really say the same for anyone else. Figueiredo now in 5th. Polito in 6th. Ronefalk in 7th. Ronefalk admitted to me he's having to push too hard. This is why the mistakes are happening, because he just hasn't got the pace in the car. Coming up to 1/3 distance in a couple of minutes. And at this point, it's looking much more like Boots is going to take Ongaro than Ongaro is going to get anywhere near Birken Kilic. And once again, another year looks like it's going to pass. I mean, I know another year is going to pass where Ongaro does not become European 1/8 Nitro Buggy champion. He hasn't won it. Boots has won it twice. But the first two, Knaus and Kilic, have never won the European Championship. Here we all go. Coming round. Boots really is beginning to eat into Ongaro's gap. This is for the final place on the podium. Boots running the two-colour shell. The green side is a tribute to British racer Carl Jackson, who passed very suddenly and very young a few weeks ago. Very popular on the British racing scene. And Elliott tribute to him with half of his colour scheme and half of Elliott's car as well. Not a great couple of corners where Elliott dropped off. Lead out to 9.5 now. Oh, we're back down to 8.9 actually. 8.9. It's Knaus is actually completely in free air at the moment. Not a great lap for Boots. So now definitely is a bit dark, and we are now beginning to have the lights doing the work for the drivers to see. Two, 3 and 4 right together. Boots really pushing to try and get to Ongaro. I mean, Figueiredo's not been left behind in his 5th place. Another mistake for Ronefalk in the background there. So if you're a Mayarko fan, it's not looking good really at the moment for them. If you're an S-Works fan, it's looking very good. If you're a Mugen Seiki fan, there's a chance. If you're an Associated fan, who knows? Go around again. 50.2, 50.4, 50.2, 50.7. So Boots lost half a second in that one to everybody. And I think, is he going to bounce the fuel? No, it's carrying on going. But he's now under quite considerable threat from Hal Figueiredo. Early stop again for Burak. I think Burak might have to stop one more time, actually, than the others. So Figueiredo now is the one who's got the pace. The Kyosho driver, the Portuguese driver. He's got the pace. And don't forget, it's Figueiredo who replaced Boots as the kind of the top European racer. I'm not sure if Mick Craddock's here. Pity for him, he normally is. And look at Figueiredo, really got some pace now. It's really interesting how the sun's gone down, the temperature's changed. There's a real ebb and flow in speed. The speed that Elliott had has gone. The speed that Knaus has is absolutely there. Any second now, the lead is 10 seconds. That's slightly distorted from the fact that Kilic has stopped. But I think Kilic is going to have to make an extra stop. I think Kilic is actually going to have to stop one more time than everyone else, as Boots tries to defend 3rd place from Figueiredo. All this is just really letting Knaus just disappear in the distance, isn't it? But we've seen this before. The last time the European Championships were here, Ronner Falk disappeared into the distance and then had a servo failure. And a long way in the lead was Robert Battle, and he had a servo failure as well. Boots came to win, and that's what long finals do. Oh, and that's Figueiredo rolling out of a challenging position. Not sure we're going to see Brian Bowder begin to move into the reckoning as well. Kilic gets Figueiredo, who's had a beard bout. It wasn't a great lap for him. 54, fuel in. Fueled also for Ongaro. They're going to come out. Oh, Ongaro's made a mistake, and they're right together again. So Ongaro came flying over that hairpin. Ongaro's really, it's not really working at the moment. Now there is half an hour to go, so it might start to work. But at that point, you've got 12, 13, 14 seconds to make up on Canas, who's been driving fantastically the entirety of the event. And you can't really see any way in which Canas is not. Canas is only going to lose it by his own hand or by bad luck now. I don't see there's a pace in the other cars to take it to him. I've been wrong before. And there's certainly a lot of action further down as Boots now battling hard with Ongaro. About 5 seconds behind Burak, so Burak's kind of got a pit stop in hand. 16-second lead now for Canas after a quarter of an hour. It's a second a minute. There's an outside chance, if he really goes well, he could actually lap the field. I think that's a bit unlikely. If he's got any sense, he'll rein it back. Track temperature dropping rapidly. Lights taking over. Local time 25 to 9. Officially sunset was 5 minutes ago. Obviously it's still light for a while. And Boots and Ongaro. Boots has got Ongaro. Just bounced a bit wrong on the rumble strip, and Boots moves into third, but possibly even net second with the Kilic situation. Kilic 5 seconds up the road, and Canas on a different road entirely at the moment. Leads down to 11. Canas has stopped again, obviously. He's stretching as close as he can to 9 minutes. He isn't going to make it, so he's going to make a kind of final splash and dash, but it gives him a lot of flexibility when his last stop takes. We will show him a bit later. At the moment, this is where the action is, and it's the action for third place between double European champion Elliott Boots and double world champion David Ongaro. The leading car is Boots, red on one side, green on the other, and then it's a real multicoloured mixture of advanced paintwork on the Ongaro machine. And he's going to get back in. They swapped again. They basically swapped there last time, and they swapped again about 2 laps later, which is just good news for Canas and Burak because they just pull further away. Down the roller coaster, 21st time. Not yet in unknown territory. We're only 19 minutes in, hadn't gone past the 20 minutes they ran in the semi-finals, but obviously it's different because it's getting dark. Which does make it different when it gets dark, to be fair. It's about now. The nerves will probably start ticking in to Canas. He's going to realise what he could achieve. Polito's now back up in 5th again. Ronafalk's down in 8th. Figueiredo in 6th. This is the battle for 3rd and 4th. Ongaro currently leading Boots. Kilic 6 seconds up the road. And then another further 11 to Juan Carlos Canas. Boots over the rumbles. Dropping a bit of pace now. Mistake by Ongaro, and he's now lost the place again. And once again, I was looking at the timing screen when it happened. Almost like they know I'm going to look away from the track. But Ongaro now a long way behind Boots, and it just makes it less likely that they're going to get anywhere near. Probably not getting anywhere with Burak Kilic either. I think Burak now is sitting in a pretty happy second place. He will come in for a pit stop a couple of laps before the others. And you can now see by the look of the camera, you can see with the artificial lights really taking over, it gets that kind of completely different sheen and look to the camera work, or the camera image. The work's still the excellent Ash Leontine, but it makes a little bit of a different sheen as Boots carries on. Now, what we should see in a second is that there will be a third stop happening quite soon. We're 19 minutes in, so yeah, in about 2 minutes will be a stop for Kilic. We'll stop again, which should put him somewhere near to Boots. A stop is about 6 or 7 seconds. Boots a couple of tenths fast that time. 49.9 for Canas, and 49.9 also for Boots. So Boots in a clear lap. Then there they come out together, you see. So Burak has come out with that stop in hand and just come out ahead of Boots as they fight for second place. And that's not really worked well for Boots. And it's a half second either way would have stopped him from kind of tripping over the emerging car. It's worked particularly well for Canas. It now means he's going to be scored with about 18 seconds of lead, which is fantastic news for him. That is the true lead, because he's going to have to stop one less time than Burak. And Burak immediately has a little more pace than Elliott. Elliott should do at least 2 laps before he comes in for fuel, possibly even 3. I'm not sure if Burak's fueling a lap short every single time. And now there's a battle again for second place. Burak, Kilic, Mugen Seki in the white and the blue with the little red roof. Then it's Boots. And ahead of Boot, and he's ahead of Ongaro. And Ongaro is kind of like mastery, which you've seen for so many years. Just seems to be completely deserting him at the moment. And it's not a setup issue. It's not lack of skill or anything like that. But it's one of those things. Sometimes it just doesn't work. Down they go. Burak again, just breathing the distance slightly. And there is Ongaro in third as well, going through the other camera shot. So second and third battling. If you're a One Cars Canas fan, the problem is he's miles ahead, and so he's not very interested. It's not massively interesting showing him really. But he is doing a fantastic job, and he's driving brilliantly. First 2 or 3 laps, a little bit of pressure, perhaps 3 or 4 laps from Burak, and then suddenly just turn the afterburners on. They can all match him for a lap. They can't match him for 10 laps. Though he does have the fastest time, 49.4. 29.6 is second fastest from Boots, who is currently struggling to keep up with Kilic. Now my guess is that Boots will actually go into the pits possibly this time, possibly the next time. Both Kilic and Boots are dropping Ongaro. It gets quite gloomy out there in real view. Yep, in comes Boots. Take the fuel, as does Ongaro. Down and out it goes. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to try and find Canas and give him a little bit of love. Car number 1 is towards the back end of his lap, obviously he's so far ahead. There he is, crossing start finish now, Ash. Coming up the main straight now. It's the red car. Well, he's gone for fuel. He's gone for fuel. No, it's the 7. I've got the wrong car. It's the next car here. This car going now. Not the green car. Oh, he is going for fuel. All right, he's in for fuel. There we are. Canas has decided to take fuel early. So he's now got himself back on a very similar strategy to Boots. Just a lap later, of course, because he was ahead. Oh, there we are. He's made a mistake just for us. That was nice of him. He hasn't made a mistake the entire race, and we come to him and makes a mistake. So he's lucky. I mean, that's had a few bangs, that S-Works. It seems to have got away with it, though. It's the whole thing, isn't it? When you come out the pits, your concentration, your rhythm's slightly gone, and that's when the errors can occur. Didn't cost him much, probably 2 seconds at most. And he had a very, very comfortable lead. It's probably going to drop down to about 10 now, but Burak is going to need to stop once more. Canas TQ'd 3 of the rounds of qualifying, the final 3 actually, after we got a TQ from Bruno in round 1 and Ongaro in round 2. Comes up, that was a 59 compared to Kulic's 49, so Kulic on the 49s now, and the lead goes down to 10 seconds, I thought. But it's not 10 seconds, unfortunately, because Kulic's got to make an extra stop. So the lead actually is about 17. and it's either over Kilic or over Boots, depending on which one of them is in where in their particular fuel strategies. Under the lights now. Something magical about racing under the lights, and we are doing that now in Europe. I think it's I can't remember this happening before in a European Championship, or certainly in a Nitro Championship. And big up to the Baldos for getting extra lights in at short notice when this race decided to run late into the night. Currently 8:45 here. 19 minutes to go. That time round was a 49.8, almost like, oh yeah, I made a mistake last time. I've really got to push it go, and 49.8, 50.4 for Burak. I think there's still a possibility, 50.0 for Boots. There's still a possibility that Boots could beat Burak. I think Burak's a favourite for second, but Boots could get him. There could be a change for second. We could see an S-Works 1-2. Ongaro's 4th, Polito's 5th, Figueiredo's 6th, Ricardo Burton 7th, Brian Baldo is 8th, Birkenklink is 9th, Ronofax had a nightmare and dropped down to 12th, Parenti's 13th, Rob Battle is 11th, and Oscar Baldo is 10th. So this is a European Championship for our reigning champion to forget. It's certainly not a championship for Juan Carlos Canas to forget. Obviously he was going very well last year in Barcelos, and he had an accident in a swimming pool. He's cut his foot on an open tile. And then he was hobbling the rest of the time. And it was obviously massively affects your concentration when you can't really stand on both legs for a 45-minute final. But he's been threatening this for a long time, Kenneth. He's been threatening a major breakthrough for a long, long time as Juan Carlos. And it couldn't happen to a nicer bloke. And he's got 18 minutes to make it happen to him. A little bit slower. Boots again took half a second out of Burak in that last one. It's now 5.4, and we think that Burak's going to have to make an extra stop. So net, I think that we're going to see slightly ahead is Burak. Let's see if we can wait for Burak. Can you go back to start-finish, and we'll get to Burak in 10 seconds. The next car along, it should be, in the white car. So that's not the right car. Hang on, we're going to find where it's... There we go. No, it's not. Looking for car number 2. Oh, that's why he's been for fuel. He's been for fuel. Here we go. He's in for fuel. He's just coming round this corner here. Down there. There we go. 4 car and the 2 car. So it has put Boots slightly ahead. So he is slightly ahead. Burak just ahead of Boots now. Where is he actually? No, it's not Boots. He's just ahead of Ongaro, isn't he? So Boots is ahead. I think Ongaro's... No, I see. Ongaro's got in between the two of them. He's got in between the two of them. Boots actually lost a bit of time in relation to Ongaro. And that's someone letting him through. So they go down the line. It's Boots is now in second. Third is Burak. And then behind him is Ongaro. Ongaro obviously didn't make a great run on that one. He's going to need to make a little bit of a stop. Both Boots and Ongaro need to stop in the next couple of laps, but they should need to stop one less time overall. So this may be the real situation. The real situation that Canas is 20 seconds ahead, basically, nearly. Fifth place is Figueiredo, a long way behind Ongaro. Ongaro to Davide, looking to get past Burak. Nope, one more. He's not taking fuel this time. And the lights, you can see the light in the dark. Some bits are lighter, some bits are darker. Not really losing any time. He's losing a few tenths to Boots. He's keeping Ronafat honest, and they're both going to go in the pits in a second. I say a second, in a lap or two, or this lap or the next lap. Knaus has put himself back pretty similar on the strategy. He's running a little bit longer and he decided that wasn't really worth it. So he's going to sit himself in the meat of the fuel tank. The stop time. Oh, and that's not good for Kilic, because that's time he can ill afford to lose there. And that puts Ongaro past. Now Ongaro will stop this time, I think, and then Kilic will move back past both of them. But the slightly thirstier engine, the Mugen-Seki, it's not a Mugen-Seki engine only, of Birkin is going to give him some issues. Honestly, I can't read that, it's too dark. We're doing planning the whole time now. Because everything's so condensed, we have to do a bit of planning the whole time. But nothing happened while we were talking about that. And in for fuel comes Ongaro. And I assume Boots did as well. Just waiting for the exit shot. Yep, they did. They both come in for fuel. They both come out of fuel. And definitely a gain there on Boots by Ongaro. Just drop back to the next to Boots and Ongaro, Ash. There they go. Not long to go. 13 minutes between Juan Carlos Knaus and a European Championship. The two colours of Boots. He's actually managing to slightly gap Ongaro after the fuel stop. I felt he was gained on, but I think he's got a little bit more oomph, a little more grip. Yeah, it's moving away. Ongaro 1.7 seconds behind. He just did lose. He lost a second in the pit stops. He didn't really lose it on the track. He lost it on the pit stop. Burak's not that much further ahead of them, and he'll have to stop again quite soon. Knaus has a 22-second lead. It's absolutely dominant performance by Juan Carlos. No other way to describe that but dominant. These other words you could describe, they'd be wrong. The word you have to use is dominant. So the two colours of the tribute body shell on the S-Works of the man who lives in two countries, the UK and Italy, Elliott Boots, currently in third, but I think net second on pit strategy. It's quite dark. You see where there's a couple of dark patches, certainly right at the start of the straight there's a dark patch, and the camera goes, oh, I can't really see that. But actually, if you're looking out with the human eyes, it's actually pretty good. The lighting of the track is pretty good indeed. I don't think anyone's going to turn around and go, oh, I can't see anything, it's not fair. It does make spotting cars a tiny bit harder. So let's roll forward one to Burak Kilic, if we can. I think he's getting due for another stop. Probably, I think he's got two more, whereas the others have got one more. He seemed to be a lap short. He seemed to be on 7 minutes, so 7, 14, 28, and then 35, which is about a minute and a bit. He just didn't have that 7:45 in the tank or 7:50 in the tank. Coming up behind the 7 car of Robert Battle to lap him, and what makes it easy by having an accident on the Conchimar corner. So a good performance by Burak. If it wasn't for the completely overshadowing masterful performance by Knaus, you're probably giving him a bit more of a big up. Which is to the 40.7. So again, he's got that late race pace. There he goes for fuel again. So he has got this one extra stop, and that's really what's counted against him. He would have been net in second. Now he's dropped to fourth. He's behind Ongaro, who's that flash of colour you see in front on the screen. 10.5 minutes to go. Still question marks about second, third and fourth. Absolutely no question mark about first. And my feeling is that everybody now needs to stop once more to get to the end. So the gaps you see are the gaps they are in real time. Knaus had a slightly poorer lap last time round, 51 flat. 50.5 for Boots, so he's just taking it down by half a second, down to 17 behind. So at least we're not going to see the spectre of anyone being lapped. Knaus has really eased his pace back after he broke away, pulled out that 18, 20 second lead, and now he's kind of sitting on a 16, 17, 18. Being those 2 tenths or so inside himself, that mean he doesn't make a mistake. His not making a mistake is what's going to be the difference between becoming European champion for the first time and not. So Kilic is in 4th. There's your is he dropping off Ongaro? Where's Ongaro gone? Or is Ongaro gone for fuel? I don't know. I don't think he went. It's too early for Ongaro to go to fuel. Oh, no, he's got away. So Kilic's pace has disappeared, to be honest, at this point. Just move forward to Ongaro, one car. Is that Ongaro? I think it is it? No, Ongaro's I think Ongaro's stopped. Ongaro's fallen behind Kilic. I'm not sure if Ongaro stopped. Ongaro had a really bad lap we didn't see. So this is 56.799. So just drop back and pick up Ongaro. He's 4 seconds behind him. I just want to see if he still goes into the pits. So it could be Ongaro either had a very good pit stop or a very bad lap. But that being quite early for a stop, my feeling is he should be going in this lap when there'll be less than 8 minutes to run. Ricardo Berton making a strong move forward now into 5th place. It's good to see for Ricky, the 2019 European Championship. He won that at the Ongaro Ring, which is where we're going next year. But in wet, dry conditions, it chucked it down. All the cars are brown at the end. Another lap in the books. Ongaro now 10 seconds behind Boots. If he hasn't got this pit stop in hand, then it's just really kind of disappeared. And Ongaro just not doing what he needs to do. But he'll learn from this. He'll move away. The big one's next year. He'll be developing his package to see what he can do to become the first ever triple world champion. And certainly retaining it 3 times is not been done before. That's in 1/8 Nitro. But other RC champions who I think had 7 in a row, like Kalari. But now is he going to stop for the last time now? No, I wonder whether he went in early. Just looking to see about Boots. Has Boots stopped? There's a big gap now between everyone. They kind of really gapped themselves out with 7 minutes to go. .655. Let's go and see if we can find our leader, Knaus. I'm not sure quite where he is. He's just started a new lap, so he's either going to go in for fuel or he's going to be underneath us in a second. Okay. I think yeah, okay. Well, he's going to come under us. He's the 3rd car. Just been. No, he hasn't. I've lost him again. There's something about the progress meter and reality have nothing in common. It is ridiculous. That's Ongaro still. Oh, now he's going for fuel. So it was a bad run with Ongaro into fuel. Yes, one thing that the lack of light does is make it slightly more. Okay, here we go. So you can go back to the start of the straight, please, Ash, and then the next car along will be Knaus. It does make it harder on this fake light to actually identify the cars as they come round. Here's Knaus, and he takes his final fuel stop. So he's 5 minutes and 58 seconds and 1 fuel stop away from the European Championship. And out he goes. Into just ahead of a little bit of traffic. He's got the Figueiredo car behind him, a lap down. Behind that, I think, is Birkenkic rather than Burak, who's currently running 3rd. Boots is 2 seconds ahead of Burak at the moment. 22 seconds off the lead, though. I think I'll go down actually, because Knaus has stopped, doesn't he? So we'll go back down to 16 again. A little waggle the wheels to get the car to land properly. So Canas, 5 minutes away from a European Championship now. And 17 seconds ahead. Kilic is missing, so he must have made his final fuel stop. He has. So Boots now in second. Third is Kilic, Ongaro fourth. Not an awful lot between them at the moment. Fifth is Ricardo Berton. Sixth is Figueiredo. Perkin Kilic, the other Kilic brother. And he's got the Baldo brothers in eighth and ninth. Polito battled Ronafak, who's just, after an early flourish, hasn't really shown since then. Getting a bit late in the day here in the just it's just coming to 9 o'clock Spanish time. We've been here now racing for 13 and a half hours to beat the rain and to crown a European champion. At the moment, that's looking a bit like Juan Carlos Canas, to be honest. Boots 15 seconds away in second. Kilic 10 seconds from that in third, and 3.5 seconds to Ongaro. Oh, there's a car broken down. I think it's Ronafak. I think Ronafak's actually broken down. So just to add insult to injury, to make the weekend even worse, Ronafak is going to be classed as last in the main final with a failure. So an ignominious end to our reigning European champions' year of European domination or winning. He won the Euros, he was second in the Worlds, but today it's just not worked. And, that's racing. Sometimes you turn up and it just don't work. And there's no reason why that should be. Ongaro now really quite close to taking third place. Needs to try and work out where these two cars are, which is the hardest thing of all, because it's very, very dark. Now for car. Okay, you need to pick him up at the hay bales corner, Ash. You've got 3 in the 2. That's it. This is the closest battle of the final battle. Oh, there. This is the battle for the final place on the podium. As they fly off the roller coaster, Burak Kilic started so well. He was right on the tail of Juan Carlos for a couple of laps or 3 laps, and then he just dropped off. The afterburners kicked on Juan Carlos Canas, and we realised that Birkin was going to be running an extra fuel stop. Now, for a while, he was able to live with that, but as it turns out, Elliot Boots had too much pace for him and for Ongaro. And Ongaro had one pretty major accident, 6-second accident at some point, but that still wouldn't bridge the gap to Boots, who's 15 seconds up the road, but he still has a chance of getting third, and I get the impression that podium is what Ongaro's going for. And they're pushing hard. It's Burak. 1 minute 43 seconds to go. Everything's going fine for Canas, I'll tell you that at the moment. Very, very tight between these two. Smoking away is the Burak car, the inside triangle, looking for it. So battling for this final position. They're really trying hard with 1 minute and 12 to go. Burak and Ongaro. Oh, no, kind of a slight problem there. A bit too wide out for Ongaro. Down to the last minute. Just seeing when Carlos goes across the line. Juan Carlos will get 2 more laps. So we can follow these guys for a bit more before we pick up JCC for his victory lap. Unless he goes very, very slowly. There's a possibility he might not get 2 laps actually. So we need to pick up Juan Carlos because he's actually only got 51.5. So Ash, if you can wait on the rumble strip, please. And the next car along will be Juan Carlos Canas, who may or may not get an extra lap. He deserves an extra lap of honour, to be honest. The young Spaniard races under the racing number 23, but he's got the number 1 on the side of his car. He was the fastest in practice. He was the fastest in qualifying. He TQ'd, and he has led every single lap of this race. He has never been headed, and he has got himself by 0.3 of a second a lap of honour. So it's a lap of honour for Juan Carlos Canas. The Spaniard cannot be caught. It's just him who's made it. It's going to say on the record books he won by a lap. He actually didn't. He won by 16, 17 seconds. But this has been a couple of days or a week of pure joy and dreams for the young Spanish driver. Finally, his potential has been realised. He's been there or thereabouts for about 5 or 6 years. We've all thought that JCC was due a big win, and finally that big win has come, and it doesn't come any bigger in this continent than the EFRA 1/8 Off-Road Nitro European Championship final. Canas has a couple of corners to go. It doesn't matter, he's already won it. He's got 2 corners to go. He's got to go over the one more odd section across the finishing line, and Juan Carlos Canas is your European champion with a superb performance. Absolutely fantastic from Canas. Juan Carlos, congratulations. What a fantastic performance. That was absolutely superb all week. TQ, everything.
Yeah, all package was really good. Final was really difficult because it's so dark. Also, I can see my car really well the last 15 minutes. But yes, super happy for the team, family, everything. So, super happy.
How different was it racing at night than it had been when you've been so quick during qualifying?
Sorry?
How different was it racing in the evening?
Yeah, it's more difficult because tubes are black, so you touch a lot the tube, and when you touch the tube, maybe you can have a mistake or something.
Congratulations, Juan Carlos. It's been a long time coming. Well done. You are European champion.
Thank you. Thank you.